tremendous looking trophy.
Hello and welcome to the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. It's me, once again, Dylan Blight. Today I'm joined by Ashley Hobley. Fuck you too, mate. Jack Cruz.
Plat.
Nicholas Pryor.
It's your boy.
It is your boy.
Officially claimed it now.
The torch has been passed.
Jono conceded.
I mean, if Jono doesn't want to...
It hasn't been passed. I kind of just stole it.
Well, as a true Australian, we just take what we want, even if the land is owned by others. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Political. Hashtag political there. You can call it what you want it. Australia Day. Good song. So I wanted to bring up a quick tangent at the start of the show because I was just streaming Outlast, right?
Fantastic.
Just streaming Outlast 2. Good job, everyone. Twitch.tv/PleasureExplosion, I think, is the
You
address.
should have streamed Parappa the Rapper.
I was streaming Parappa the Rapper first, Nick. Great game. Hilarious. Makes me laugh. But here's something I want to bring up. And I was noticing it a lot in Outlast, and it was annoying me. Video game characters who, like in this case, this is a guy who's sneaking around, right? He's trying to be quiet, yet he finds the need to speak rather loudly and point out things just because it's a game so the player knows. So I like walk towards something and he's like, oh, maybe there's an elevator there. Maybe there's a generator close by. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, why is that?
It's even more
I've got a
off-putting
counterpoint to
in
that.
horror games. It's even more off-putting in horror
Oh,
games.
it's fucking annoying.
I've got a
Go,
counterpoint.
Nick.
I think
Yes.
it's the game trying to do an inner monologue, like how in a book, how you'd read his thoughts. But you can't really do that in a game, so he's talking to himself internally.
I don't mind it. See, horror games do it okay when... I can't think of a good example. I can't remember the exact game it was, but there was a game a couple of years ago that I thought had it spot on. And it was some horror game, but the guy only ever spoke to himself when he reached like a safe room or a place that he thought was safe. Like you'd get to somewhere and you'd finally be like, what the fuck is happening? Blah, 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 blah. But when he was out and about and trying to sneak around and do stuff, quiet. He's not fucking gibbering to himself. It's just half. Just do it. I just think it's like... I know they're doing it as the developers to try and like point stuff out to you and be like, this is where you need to go. But there's other ways to do it and it just sounds stupid in the game. You're like, just shh.
Yeah.
I understand, but shh.
No.
Just...
The worst I've ever heard was, and I talk about this game a lot, The Evil Within. I'm playing that game, and I'll never forget... the part of it. There's like I screenshotted it and I remember it but he's basically in this like he's just like walking through a corridor. If you've never played The Evil Within, like you sort of come in and out of different areas and places and you sort of transport through, and he sort of like fell through this thing and landed in this like haunted house kind of place, and he stands up and there's like blood written on the walls, like you will not escape or something like that on the walls, and he's sort of standing there and he like scratches his head and he goes, there's something not right about this place. I'm like, oh, you think?
No shit, Sherlock.
Fucking good pickup, Seb. That's fucking spot on, mate. Yeah, fucking nailed it. You're right about that. So sometimes that was like cringe worthy.
I think you can to get away with it, you have to do it well. Like Drake in Uncharted talks to himself a lot, but it's like the way he does it in kind of a, like muttering to himself, like kind of like it reminds me of like Bruce Willis Die Hard type.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the girl, like he walks past that poster, it's like girls, like have a great time, come to the Christmas, that kind of thing. And Drake does a similar.
Maybe Drake has Asperger's.
Schizophrenia. What you're looking for?
No,
that's like the biggest callback to Jono trying to prescribe me off air as having Asperger's because I talk to myself, which I'm not sure is medically correct. And he's not a doctor. An official one.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty common.
To talk to yourself.
Talking to yourself.
I should have just pointed this out last night.
I always
Drake
do
talks
it.
to himself all the time. It's fine. People talk to him.
Heaps of characters do.
Yeah.
Lara Croft does.
I'm just a video game
Halo
character.
does.
Did you just say Halo does?
I said-
Aloy.
Halo, God.
Oh,
I said
Aloy.
Halo does. I'm like, his name's not Halo.
what is his name? Oh, Master Chief.
Master Chief.
I was about to say, what is actually his name?
Yeah.
We need to cut that whole section out.
No, it was good.
This is a PlayStation podcast.
It's for you, NATO.
I actually found.
Terabytes.
I actually found.
Teraflops.
sorry.
That's his
I
name.
actually found, just on while we're on it, Aloy's sort of muttering to herself a little bit annoying and off-putting. Like, it was always sort of out of sync with what was going on around her. So she'd be like, she'd just be like chilling or whatever, and then I'd be like, I'm sneaking up to like fuck up this massive, what are they called, the bloody Thunderjaw, and they're like, it'll start raining. She's like, it's raining. I'm like, focus on the task at hand, for fuck's sake. Don't worry about fucking rain.
Rain could have a huge effect on the battle.
Certainly not.
In real life, anyway.
In real life, if there was mechanical dinosaurs and such
Certainly
things
not.
to
It happened like a lot of, like, that was a sort of anecdote, but I found like the same thing, like you're sneaking through a bandit camp and all of a sudden she started talking about the weather and it's like, like, just,
You know what would have been cool? Is when it rains, electricity attacks do more damage.
Yeah, that would have been good.
There's games that do that.
It fucked up.
No, I was just talking about Horizon.
Yeah, it fucked up her fire arrows. Like the fire arrows were fire
Did?
arrows. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I never noticed that.
Pretty sure
I
it
never
did.
noticed that.
Pretty sure
I thought
it
the
did.
weather was just a appearance thing. I don't think it ever actually took effect on
I'm pretty sure it did.
anything to do with the gameplay.
Yeah, I reckon it did.
Jack
Not
should
that
know.
I've
He
noticed.
played the game for the longest.
I could be wrong. I
Yeah,
did.
true.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it did. So, if I, and this is a show about teaching me things about the world, so if I'm wrong, please write into. Where do they write
Jack.
into, Nick?
Yeah, no.
PleasureExplosion.com/contact.
PleasureExplosion.com/contact.
You got it?
I got it.
You remember that one?
I said it.
Okay, good job.
I'll forget it.
Okay,
next
so I
episode.
wanted
Tattoo it
I'll
on the
talk about
back of your hand.
What, tattoo? Yeah, well, he's got some other shitty tattoos, so you might as well fucking add to them.
Hey, most tattoos aren't shitty. They have good stories.
They do have good stories, but they're shitty tattoos.
I think that's up for debate.
So the big news of the week, the announcement of Darksiders 3, THQ Nordic, who showed up out of nowhere like some point last year and was like, hey, we're like THQ again, and everyone was like, oh yeah, I remember how well this went last time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Didn't really miss you.
We really missed you. Hey, welcome back, guys. Everyone was like, welcome back to the games industry, I suppose.
yeah, that
I
name
guess
doesn't
you're
have
gonna-
any negative connotations or anything.
It's like I know you could have just called yourself something else. It's like THQ, Nordic,
Bizarre.
because we're not the same. We're not the same THQ as before, but we're still THQ.
Absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
It is weird. So the big thing that they've got coming out, Darksiders 3, which probably makes sense because as far as I'm concerned, I think that was probably the biggest license that they actually had left because they lost like South Park and everything like that when they went down, and Ubisoft took that off their hands. Which I don't know. Let's go through the roll call first. Who here has played any of the Darksiders? And
No.
zero. Ash,
Sorry.
done. See ya. Bye.
Yep.
Off the podcast. Jack.
Yep. I'll disconnect.
I played very, very little of Darksiders 1.
The first one.
Yeah.
Nick.
I played about halfway through the first one and then I had my fill of the game.
So everyone here doesn't like Darksiders. Okay, so I finished the first.
It's not I
Darksiders.
didn't like it, it's just I had enough of it by that point.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm going to sell everyone on the first game right now because they just put out the buy. You get both the games on the Australian PlayStation Store for like $25, and I need to go back and finish the second one, so I might jump on that deal at some point because that's pretty cheap. $25 for 2 games.
That's pretty good.
I'm in. That sounds like a good bargain, except for some fucking reason they've got this giant picture of the third one on it. I don't understand. Like,
Yeah, that seems misleading.
Yeah,
it is misleading.
Yeah, it does.
It's potentially false advertising.
I think it's something. It's like, why does it need to be
Certainly
on
is
there?
something that's very true.
Why is it? I just don't understand why it needs to be. Anyway, they so Darksiders 1 I think is great. Darksiders 1 is like, I think when it came out at the time, everyone was like, this game's kind of is like a Zelda, but like more Zelda Cross of God of War, which is pretty much the best explanation for it. Plus, you have a little ghoul monster in the game that's voiced by Mark Hamill, which is always great because Mark Hamill in anything's always great.
Oh,
It's
And
actually
he's
got a quite a good cast.
It does have a good cast.
Troy Baker's
and he's
in
more
it.
He's more or less doing the Joker voice as this creature. He's like,
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. This it also has like one of the coolest endings, like cliffhanger cool endings in a video game, I think, to the point where I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for the sequel. The sequel's going to be off the tits. And then Darksiders 2 came out and it was like, this isn't exactly what I want. It's kind of like the end of Darksiders 1 was like them going, the next game's like the Avengers, like we're gonna have this fucking sick ass team, and then the sequel was like, we're doing the spin-off movies for each singular character first, and you're like, oh, why can't we just get to like a game with all the Apocalypse team members or whatever you want to call them? I don't really know. No,
Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Horsemen of the Apocalypse, yeah, however many of them they are, because spoilers, and then
4.
4. Holy moly! Catch me on my Bible. Is that a Bible thing? I don't know.
There's war,
I don't
death,
think so.
famine, and conquest.
Yeah, there's 4 horsemen in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Just
I think
Spoilers.
it's
Winning.
Logan, Archangel.
Yeah, and this is
Ric
the other part.
Ric
that
Flair
annoys
was
me.
in there as well.
So the first
Magneto.
Darksiders, you play as War, and the game starts like as the end of the world's happening, and Earth goes to like apocalypse times more or less, and then you meet a bunch of characters, you go into a bunch of dungeons, you fight bosses, you unlock new weapons, Zelda style. You need them, you backtrack, you do all sorts of things. It's basically Zelda with God of War combat. It's cool. There's puzzles, different weapons. Great game. There's a horse combat boss, which stands out as my favorite boss from that game, and that was really fucking great. And the second game, you play as Death, who is one of the other ones.
Purple.
And it just didn't have the hook of the first one. I don't know. I think Death was a lot more boring. The story wasn't as interesting, and I think the fact that they end the first game with them more or less being like, the rest of the horsemen are coming down, and we're gonna have this shit get fucked up. Shit's about to go off, son. Now go play as another solo game with Death before he even gets to Earth. Great. And now they announced this third game, and this third game you're gonna be playing as, what's her fucking name? Fury, who I think is like Death's sister. Yeah, and it's not even one of the horsemen. So we're into the third fucking game. Now it really is like, this really is like the Thanos sitting in chair for 15 movies. Like, when the fuck are we going to get to that guy? Because now I'm like, can we just remember that cliffhanger at the end of the first game? Like, the horsemen were all coming. Can we?
No,
get to
you're
that?
the only one
No.
that finished it.
No. Can we just do a spin-off game with Death's sister for some reason? But I don't really, and it's really weird. Like, the gameplay looks. So didn't anyone look at like screenshots and stuff like that?
Yes.
And at least trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't mind the art style for the game, but for some reason it looks like a PS3 game still to me. Like, it doesn't look like a PS.
Yeah, I don't imagine
Fucking
they've
you.
got the talent there to really make it a, fantastic, amazing.
I think it's most of the original team,
yeah.
or what was left. It's not like the first game looked bad.
No,
Like,
but it
for
looked
the
but
time.
for
For
its
its
time.
time.
Yeah. So why can't they? I don't really know.
I thought it was a completely different studio. Like THQ Nordic's not got really nothing to do with the original THQ.
The original, no. They just took the
No, they
name.
just bought
Yeah.
the property.
Yeah,
because they're really smart like that.
Because
Yeah.
it's prestigious.
that's what you got to do, I suppose. I don't know. I just find it like I'll probably want to play it, and I want to go back and play the second one and even though I didn't like the second one that much, and I'm not like super hyped up about the 3, I like the source, like the Horseman Apocalypse, like the world ending, and I really enjoyed the first game. Like, I just really want there to be a good game there, and I feel like there is a good like concept, and just playing as like godlike beings on a Earth that has been destroyed and the human race like wiped out is just a cool concept, like angels versus demons. And the first game was cool because there was these monsters and there was angels and there was demons, and then there was you who's like in the middle of it kind of thing. It's a cool concept. It's like Bayonetta calmed down, but and without all the whips, chains, and sexy poses, I suppose. So
No, I like the source material. I don't think there's enough of that sort of angels and demons kind of stuff. Like, we had Dante's Inferno back in the day, which wasn't great. So, but
Diablo.
Diablo. Yeah, Diablo definitely touches on it. But we need I really like that kind of stuff. Like, so I'm sort of with you on that one. I'd like to see a little bit more of that sort of source material, maybe in a different type of, a more like grounded kind of thing, sort of like maybe a Constantine type sort of game. Give me a Constantine game. There you go. There's something.
There is PS2. I enjoyed it.
What, the Keanu Reeves? Is it Keanu? You played Keanu?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. Yeah,
Fucking shit.
That is like the.
I remember renting
please.
it. That was fun.
PS2
like-
classics.
That game, that movie is like the worst movie ever. I reckon.
It's fucking terrible. I hate it so much.
I love
it's
it.
Nothing. He
I love
smoked
it.
0 cigarettes, which is automatic like bad.
It's
No,
so-
you fucked Constantine.
Oh, he's given up smoking.
It's
Yeah, he's given up smoking the whole comic series, pretty much.
it's
But his smoking plays a major role in the end of the movie, doesn't it? From memory.
Yeah,
Does it?
he's got lung cancer.
You just remember too much of this fucking trash.
I enjoyed the movie.
It's a good movie. It's a good bad movie.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's a good bad
I
movie.
disagree. Who watched the TV show?
Rachel
as a
Weisz.
tangent?
I did not.
Yeah.
Watch the TV show.
I watched a handful of episodes, but I couldn't get into it.
You're crazy because that was way better than the movie.
Disagree.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you, Ash.
Anyway,
You're welcome.
back to
Why'd you make
Darksiders.
a
I
We're busy
I
pitching
wish-
this Constantine
I
game.
want this Constantine game to be pitched and sold. Yeah.
That'd be dope. Give me a Constantine
WB's
game. WB.
Fuck Darksiders 3. THQ Nordic calling it out now. Go buy the Constantine license. Get Mark Hamill, the voice of character, to play that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick.
speaking of good voice actors, Mike Patton in The Darkness was fantastic.
The Darkness.
The
That's
game.
a,
Play that.
I only
Yeah.
played the second one.
that is a throwback.
Oh, and he did that
was-
all without any voice modification. It was all natural voice too.
Was the first one on PS3 or PS2?
PS3.
PS3.
They both were.
Okay, so they were both from PS3, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
I played the second one and I enjoyed it, but I didn't understand what the fuck was happening for half of it. But it was just like it was just like a very like 5-hour fast-paced first-person shooter where you get to dual wield
Yeah.
guns and
It's
use
snake
powers. I was
hands
like,
and
this is
shit,
fun. Yeah. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know what's really
First
happening,
one was
but
really
Very
good.
cool
enjoying
games.
yourself.
Very cool games.
It's based on a comic series. Maybe I should check out the comic series.
It's based on that band.
That band,
Yeah.
The Darkness.
Yeah.
Classic
Yeah.
band.
Yeah. It's great.
Is it really?
No.
Are you just trolling
No.
me?
Yes, I'm trolling.
Jack, please, you're letting me down.
Oh,
I just need to
no.
know.
Oh, no. Yes, no. It's
Okay.
I remember
that is a
watching.
complete troll.
You can watch the whole of To Kill a Mockingbird in the first Darkness too.
Can you? I
Yeah.
wonder, it's probably
You
because
sit-
To Kill It. I wonder if To Kill
You sit on a lounge
Mockingbird-
with your girlfriend, and you can watch the whole movie if you want to.
Really?
I wonder if they brought the license or if To Kill a Mockingbird's like old and like after a certain
Yeah,
amount
I
of
think
years,
it's open
like stuff.
source.
Yeah, I don't think it's free to public domain yet.
Really? So it's just
I don't know.
you know what's weird
Public
about that?
domain.
Lawyer
What's
Ashley's
weird-
is like, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
What's weird about the free to public domain thing is like the original Dawn of the Dead, like the George A. Romero original one, is like free to public use, but you can still buy it on DVD, and they sell it on DVD because they chuck a shit ton of special features on it as a reason to make
Yeah.
you actually pay for it. But technically, you could just legally download it because it's lost its copyright. Like I own a DVD copy, and it has no, unlike all other DVDs, it has no like copyright emblem or anything like that on it. It's really weird because it's just like you've brought a DVD that someone made in a garage or something like that. It's just, here it is, it's a thing, there's no copyright, burn it, give it to your friends, do what you need to do. Like you're allowed
Tom.
to do whatever you want. Yeah, fucking Tom, you copyright motherfucker. Jack, Ash, very important, biggest game of the week
Yeah.
to use. AFL Evolution. I want the official rundown. Now, me and Jack did do a Let's Play over on YouTube, which I'd love to link to you, but we need 100 subscribers, so just go find it and fucking subscribe.
Search
to the
Pleasure
channel, thank you.
Explosion. Have a look at the Let's Play.
Yeah, my opinions
there's
on
a
it
link in the show
are
notes.
very quick. I played a little bit. I don't fucking understand AFL enough to even have an opinion. And other than that, it appeared to run like garbage, and I didn't understand the controls, and it just seemed like I would need to put in way too much time to even learn the controls to have fun, at which point I'm like, well, that's not really a good feature for a game. So, pass it over.
Ash, do you want to go first? Because I'm probably going to go for a while on this one.
Yeah, probably. I think it's pretty mediocre. I wouldn't say it's bad.
Wouldn't you?
I wouldn't, because I have a feeling Jack's going to say it a lot. The marking is definitely the major problem in the game.
Okay, well, if Jack's just going to talk about all the bad stuff, tell me on what you like then, Ash. What is good about this game?
Kicking goals is fun. I mean, running around, living out your AFL dream is
since the last
fun.
one. That's fun, new, anything. There has to be. Is there anything that stands out? You're like, oh, that's nice that they've included this. Like, obviously they've added like the women's team, which is like, well, at least it's up to date. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
So you've got all.
Well, it's just like in FIFA every year. I mean, there's not a ton of massive tweaks. It feels pretty much exactly the same. Well, a little bit worse than the last AFL game that came out.
When was the last one that came out?
AFL 2, I think it came out...
So 2013.
2013 or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so a long time
on
ago,
PS3.
really, in the scheme of things. For sports
Yeah.
games especially, I suppose.
Yeah, I played it the other day because I was trying to play a joke on Jack. The back
September,
didn't work very well.
September 2013 it came out.
Yeah, I was playing the Lions, and then pretty much every single player was no longer part of the team, so that shows how long ago it was. But yeah, not really much has been added. They've added a career mode where you can play as a player, but that doesn't really work that well due to the fact that it's AFL and it's very
18
spread
fucking
out game.
players on the ground.
Is there any kind of story or anything? Do they even? Is it just
No,
like you
it's
go
just
from match
play-
to match to match, like just play
match
games?
to match to match,
Okay.
not like a
So it's boring.
FIFA journey.
Is what you're saying? Yeah.
NBA 2K.
So there's little to no effort. And you played the one that came out years and years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And
and
then a couple
I
days
had fun
later, you
playing
played
those
the
two
new
games.
one, and you was like, "Well, I can't really tell difference." Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's a great sell if you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they have a history of patching having support for their games. True Blue. So hopefully in maybe 12 months it'll be a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, you want to rip this to shreds?
All right, I'm just gonna. So, game's fucked, right? That's. And I don't say that, I don't say that easily.
You don't say that lightly.
No, I wanted more than not more than any, but as far as video games go and wanting a game to be good, this was the game I wanted to be good. Like, this is the game I needed to be good. I needed it to be good so that the series can thrive. It only had to be good. It didn't have to be great. But it's fucked. Like, the game is bad. Like, I'd have to disagree with you there, Ash. It is bad. So, everything about the game is great except the actual game. So, the fact that they've got, all of the different, like... So it looks like they've put so much effort into, like, all right, we're gonna put the women's league in, we're gonna put the TAC Cup in, we're gonna put the VFL in, we've got all the state leagues, we're the international leagues, we've got all these different, like, we're gonna add all these players in and all that. We're gonna have like career mode. You're gonna have like a player mode, create your own player. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have facial mapping on the players so they're not like, you don't have like ball player running around who's got like a full head of hair like they did in the last game, and it's like they were like, all right, yeah, the base is there, like the foundation is there for a good game, and they just fucking literally dropped the ball. Like, they literally dropped the ball. All they had to do was make a good game, because a good game would have sold a fuckload, and they would have gotten greenlit. I have no doubt they would have been. AFL was like, all right, there's money in this. We're gonna make one. We are going to. What do you call it? We're going to annualize this. We're going to put one out every year, every second year. It's going to be Evolution 1, Evolution 2, AFL Evolution 2018, or whatever the fuck they're going to do. I don't think that AFL will still put money into this, because I've no doubt it's sold, only for the fact that this is the thing. Only for the fact that it's an AFL game. We haven't had a good one since 1999 for one.
So here's my do you reckon that fans like yourself should have like just brought this one anyway and just put up with it and just say, you know what, fuck it, here's all my money, everyone just buy this copy of this game this year, and then in hopes of there being one next year, and then if the one next year was shit, at which point you'd be like, okay, nah, now you're definitely...
Well, that's what's going to happen, though. So, like, that's exactly what's going to happen, is that this is not a good game, and people bought it, right? A shitload of people bought this game. This game has sold well, I believe. And so...
It's very popular on, like, Australian game media sites.
Absolutely. It's getting a lot of coverage. It's even, like, on, like, the AFL shows, like AFL 360 and the Footy Show and all that. Like, this is getting media hype. Yeah. And because none of these people know what the fuck they're on about, they're like, oh, it's great. The game's great. And the players are coming on and talking about it. It's like, yeah, we played a game and it was really fun and blah, blah, blah. It's on the radio and stuff and it's getting all this coverage. So what's going to happen is the AFL is going to greenlight a second one and it's going to be even worse. But because people have been burnt on this one, they're not going to get another one after that. And the whole thing's fucked. And the AFL will be gun shy because they're like, why the fuck are we going to keep pouring money into something like this only for it to not make any money and to be shit? So
what's your like top three like to shout out, guys, these are the top 3 things you need to get right to make this game good?
Yeah, okay. So first thing is the commentary. It is atrocious. Like, it is legitimately the worst commentary I've heard in a video game ever. It's worse than any of the other AFL games. It's worse than like any... I've played a lot of sports games over these. I've played FIFAs and Maddens and cricket games and fucking NHL games and tennis and you name it. I've played a shit ton of sports games. And I've never, ever experienced anything on this level. They've used sound bites from the previous games. They've used new sound bites. That's that whole like... It's so bad that it's unfathomable. Because it's like, you know, the commentary is like... that it's like, you know, and a great goal by Smith. It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's where they've like, so instead of recording each different line naturally so it sounds right, so instead of recording the full line, he scored a great goal, Smith, they've gone in and said record, he scored a great roll once, and then got them to stand there and go Smith, Roland, John, and then they've just cut them together, which means that they didn't have the money or the time or either or whatever it is to actually just get whoever the different people are to do it properly.
Exactly right.
Like, okay,
all they had to do
session one day.
All they had to do was record each name 3 times with a little bit of like a normal, Smith and then Smith and then Smith. It's like that's it.
Or they didn't have a good voice director. You know, like there's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of the good things that they didn't have, and the other thing, like, and it's just all fucked up as well. It's like you kick a goal and they're like, and a behind, or like you're 5 goals down and you kick a goal and they're like, and they hit the front. I'm like, no, they didn't hit the front. They're still 5 goals behind, or like it's quarter time and they're like, and that's the end of the game. I'm like, no, it's fucking quarter time. It's not the end of the game. There's actually still 3 quarters to go.
It's just mind tricks. They're just like trying to fuck with it.
Do you know?
One time it's an actual joke.
I was just gonna say, yeah. So go on, Ash. You can tell that one. It is. They actually do say it one time.
Say, yeah.
You can
they say it's 3/4 time. Oh no, it's the end of the game. No, actually, I've been told it's 3/4 time.
Yeah.
Or something. Some terrible stuff.
I've heard that.
I had one of them call it Jago O'Mara and the other person call it Jago O'Meara, one after the other.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That's how terrible.
And this is the thing, like, these are footy people commentating. I don't know how the fuck they get the names wrong. Like, that's the other thing. I don't know, it's so bad. And like Matthew Richardson, God bless him. I didn't think he could be any more like annoying than he is like when he's actually commentating the football. Turns out he can be more annoying. He's fucking horrid. So that's just the audio and like along with the sort of that with the audio is the crowd noise is just shit. Like there's no inflection in the crowd when you kick a goal or get a good tackle. It's just the same monotone like cheering, muttering, fucking rabble. So that's sound. Visual. So okay, we're going to do sound, visually, and gameplay. So visually, fucking looks shit. Like it looks like a PS3 game, and not a good PS3 game. It looks like a bad PS3 game. It's like they've done nothing to improve the graphic fidelity. The crowd, like if you kick a goal and you're like, you know, it's close up on the goal umpire and you can see the crowd behind. It reminds me of like PS2 era WWE games where in the crowd it's just like the same player model that's like a few polygons and they're like holding a sign and they're like all identical. That is exactly how it looks. It looks fucking horrible. The player models look shit. The kicking actions look shit. The handballing actions look shit. The tackling looks shit. They all look wonky. I think like it's like 4 or 5 players per team have gotten face mapping. The rest of them look like they've been shit out of a fucking random polygon generator. It's just, you know, visually it looks crap. It looks like a bad PS3 game. And then you think, okay, you can get over all of that. You can mute the commentary. You can deal with the graphics as long as the gameplay is good. And this is where it really breaks down. Is that one of the most the fundamental action in the game, like which is taking a mark, is fucking broke. Like, I don't know whether you got to hold the button down. I don't know whether you've got to fucking tap it. I don't know whether you got to try and time it. There's no margin for error. So you've got to like hold the button down and then release it when this like circle flashes. But then if you don't time it properly, the opposition player will just mark it. And then like you can be like jostling for position and you can like bump your opponent out of the way to mark it. But if there's you can bump your opponent out of the way and be the only person standing there, and then all of a sudden the opposition player comes and marks it. It's like, how is that even like there's no, so there's it's really bad. It's like it's frustratingly like makes it like really bad to play.
I found when they were chipping it around, there was like nothing you could do.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way to stop them. So
exactly right.
That's frustrating.
And you get the ball and you just got to kick and hope that your player will be like a couple of meters away, which leads me to the next problem is when you're trying to run away from your opposition player is obviously you've got to try and kick the ball away. Like most games where you've got to kick a ball, you've got to like charge up your kick. The longer you hold the X or circle button, the further the ball goes. The issue with that is that your player slows down to like a halt to kick the ball when it's charging up, and you just get tackled. So it's almost impossible to get kicks away unless you've somehow miraculously been able to take a mark. And so the only way to really properly, efficiently get from one end of the ground to the other is just handball. And just handball. Hope that you get like a couple of players break away and try and get to the goals. And you get tackled. As soon as you get tackled, it's a free kick. If you tackle the opposition player somehow, it's every time you tackle them, it's like high or it's in the back or it's just fucked. And like Ash said, it's fun to kick goals when you can, and that's the frustrating thing is that there's a real, I said it in my review, there's a real potential for the game to be good, and it's like they've just half-assed it and they've just shoved it out the door, and AFL's come and given and they've gone like, holy fuck, like AFL's come and be like, hey, we want you to make another game, and they're like, really? Even after the last one?
I don't understand I don't know the behind the scenes of about these games, but the part I don't understand is like, so one hasn't come out for 4 years, yet this one seems like it's been rushed out on a schedule. Like why was it seems like it was rushed when it didn't need to be. Like they could have spent longer working on it because it's not like it was annualized.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it was a badly rushed annualized game, but it isn't. I just don't understand.
Yeah, so I think what it was is exactly that, is they were caught maybe like not being like, obviously they weren't prepared. The AFL's come to them with a big check and gone, make this game, and they've gone, really? You want us to make another one? Like, yep, we want another one. We want it out by the start of the season. And like, and this I'm assuming this was like mid last year or maybe early last year. I was going to
say, so probably like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Like a really tight rotation.
Exactly right. So, and they've just gone, fuck, I guess we should probably get on that then. And they're like, oh, well, we haven't got time to go and source a new engine or build a new engine or even like probably lease a new engine. Let's just use the engine we've got and we'll shit this game out in 9 months. And that's literally what they've done, is they've shit it out to sort of somehow be in line with the start of the season, because the last game, AFL Live 2, was released in September. So like they sort of missed the boat a little bit in that the season's coming to an end, you're releasing a game, you really want to strike while the iron's hot in that aspect. With this, like, and this is the thing, like the AFL doesn't get video games, so they've obviously just been like, they don't understand what a development cycle is and how it takes to, what it takes to put out a game. And obviously this company, and like obviously everyone knows that the video game industry in Australia is a struggle. So someone comes to you and offers you a check to fucking make a game, you take it. And you're not going to turn that down. You're not going to say, when they say we want it out by, April, May, next year, you don't go, we're going to need till April, May the year after. And they're going to go, no, well, fuck your check. We'll take the check back in.
I don't think you need to like say it's like hateful to say the game shit. Like whoever worked, like if these people got rushed, they got rushed. That's it.
Yeah,
but the fact still remains is that the game is shit. Like you can't be like, oh, you got rushed, but we'll give you +2 points because of that.
Exactly.
It's like, no.
And I'm being, and like if anyone from True Blue or Wicked Witches happens to listen to this podcast, like I'm sure you guys poured your heart and soul into it. I have no doubt that you did, and I'm only I'm only saying the things I'm saying because I wanted so bad for this game to be good. Like I really did. Like I was honestly like palpably
More than any
He
person
really
on this
did.
planet.
Trust us.
I was more excited for this game than I was for Metal Gear Solid 5. Like that's seriously like that is like I was just like
And they both let you down.
no, no, Metal Gear Solid 5 was good. The ending let me down.
No, it wasn't.
Fuck off, Nick. And yeah, so like I apologize if I'm coming across as brash and being angry and whatever, but I'm upset. Like I feel I really wanted this game to be good, and I was left really badly disappointed. And
Here's my question.
Yeah.
For the other games, who's played their other ones they put out, like the Don Bradman cricket, the rugby one? I don't play.
Played.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, what's the comparison? Like, are they all? Did they all feel kind of rushed, or what?
No, other ones feel pretty good.
Which one?
I think
examples.
Both. I played Rugby League 3, Live 3, and Don Bradman Cricket,
whatever it's
2014. But I think they're just different games. So the Rugby League has been. It's more of a back and forth.
Yeah.
Which is probably an easier to design for, whereas AFL it's like a whole 360.
That's what I was going to say.
Angle. It's just really hard, I would imagine, to create that, especially with that kicking mechanic as well, which in a lot of other games that have that sort of kicking, time slows down when you're trying to charge up and when you want to play stuff, whereas this is just you've got to kick straight away.
Yeah. And
Jack,
yes, sir.
when was the last good AFL game?
1999.
And what
What's
generation
that?
was that on?
That was on
What
PS1.
is
It was actually pretty good.
Right, so
I just
was
wanna,
that...
I just want to clear something up really quick. So True Blue is the publisher and
The publisher,
and,
yeah,
and
no, I'm
Wicked,
talking
Wicked
about
Witch
the
is the
ones they
developer.
publish.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clear
Yeah.
that up. So
I was just talking about, like,
Wicked Witch didn't make Don Bradman. Big
that was Big
Big
Ant.
Ant made Don Bradman. Yeah.
No, my connection was just of a Australian.
Sports. Yeah, so look, True Blue have been involved with Australian sports video games for like publishing them since the 90s, putting out like V8 games and NRL games and the rest. And they even put out a Melbourne Cup game one year.
Did they put out like V8 supercars like on PS2?
No,
No, that was Codemasters.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it was.
They
Okay.
did.
Well, they were good.
They did.
Call out to Codemasters.
They did Dick Johnson V8 challenge in 1999.
Okay.
Look, there've been like AFL Live in like early, like the mid 2000s was okay. There was some okay ones. Like they've never been great, the AFL games ever. Even the one in 1999 was not great, but for like a 10-year-old kid with a PS1 and you give him an AFL game and it sounds like an AFL game, it sort of looks like an AFL game for the time and made by EA, like fucking awesome. Like, and that's the thing, since EA has gotten out of Australian sports games, they've gone to shit. Understandably, because EA make quality games. Like all of the EA cricket games were fucking amazing. Like they were for the PS2 era. I don't think they put one out on PS3. From then it went to Ricky Ponting cricket, which was shit, and all the other Don Bradman cricket. I've heard mixed things about the Don Bradman cricket.
17, the one that just
I've heard
that one was.
I've heard good.
I've heard bad things.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that. I know Don Bradman 14 was apparently really bad. So it's just the caliber's not there, and so you don't outsource these games to the US because the people in the States don't understand. They don't know the cadences of the games. They wouldn't be able to do it justice, even though they'd be great on a gameplay level. They'd have to study the game and learn
maybe
it.
they would when they've got fresh perspective.
No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
it's not working.
I think, but I think for a thing like AFL, you have to have people that know the game. Like, you can't give it to a bunch of Americans, tell them to watch a couple of games and tell them to go make it. They just wouldn't get it. And so I think that, unfortunately, and unless maybe, like, the only, like, in perfect world, what I think they would need to do is go, okay, we need to go and poach some talent from international, from like 2K or from EA or from, Konami. They put out, pairs every year. Like, we need to go and poach some talent who make good sports games, and we need to get them in here and just fix some of the fundamentals and just sort of see what they think. And for God's sake, get a new fucking engine, because it looks like poo. It looks poo. I'm just upset. That's all. I'm just upset.
We understand, Jack. We understand, Jack.
It's broken my heart.
So to move on, but still kind of stay on that.
Was it fun beating Dylan though?
He actually
YouTube.com/1ID.
Yeah, spoilers. He actually beat me the first game we played, but that video has been lost to the annals of.
You know, that's my proudest moment. Is I beat him game one straight out of the bat,
Yeah.
and he was like screaming at me He was screaming at me. He's like, "You've been practicing," and I legit hadn't. I just jumped on, never played the game, and I beat him, and I was like, "This is hilarious."
Man.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
So this week, and I don't know if I'm gonna butcher. Is it Etihad?
Very good, yeah. Etihad,
Yes.
yep.
Okay, Etihad. So AFL has got Etihad Stadium, which is where someone fill me in.
It's in
Where's
Docklands
this
in
place?
Melbourne.
Okay, Docklands, Melbourne. Now the AFL got this place last October.
They purchased it from.
and they purchased it. Yep. I'm just double checking as I go because
No, you're right. Keep
you're the user of the sport guys. You're
Yep,
on here for a
yep.
reason. They got the stadium and they put it. News came out this week that they want the clubs, the AFL clubs, to create or sponsor esports teams, much like they've done for like women's football and other things that they've been doing over the last couple of years, like expanding outside your normal, quote unquote normal,
Yeah, trying to
football
get different
stuff,
different
like that.
demographics of
Different markets,
Yeah.
demographics,
Demographics.
Demographics. Good job, Jono. Shut the fuck up. Tom, shut the fuck up. Everyone, shut the fuck up. So this intrigues me because as someone who quite likes watching certain games and dabbles in watching Twitch streams and had a fascination for like several years hardcore as a League of Legends thing. So my question, without going too hardcore into like the esports thing, is what game or games do you think would be the best choices that you know of for the Australian public? And specifically, if they're going to try and make esports teams, what games do you think could be used to like bring in people to watch who aren't actually gamers? So what games could be interesting? Because that's what they want. They want us gamers to come in, sure, but at the same time, it's like what kind of stuff would be interesting for non-gamers or casual gamers to get into hardcore, like sport-wise?
Yeah.
AFL Evolution.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, if they can get really good at that, that would be very surprising.
Yeah. I think the
Rocket League off the bat.
yeah,
Rocket
Rocket
League,
League's
yeah.
a great one. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think for something like this to succeed, and I don't think that it will, only because of the AFL community and the way that they're still quite. They still view video games and stuff
Old
as
school.
like, yeah, they are very old school. There's a lot of old guys in there that don't really get it, and they like they sort of
This is my
scoff.
issue.
They
Yeah.
scoff at like, and you know, obviously there's someone in the AFL's gone, this is a really like this is a cash grab here. We want to get these millennials in.
You know what it actually made me think of? It made me seem like, so there's some, because I don't actually understand how the whole AFL corporation works.
Yeah.
I just picture there's some like 70, 80-year-old dude who runs it, and he has like a 15-year-old nephew who's like, hey uncle, hey grandfather AFL, could you purchase a stadium for esports? He's like, well, you know what? It is Saturday and I've got money to spare. So for you,
God.
son, we'll set up some esports.
Not quite,
Whatever the
not
fuck
quite,
that
but
is.
I like the
Whatever
vision.
that is.
Not quite, but I like the vision. No, the AFL CEO is a guy named Gillan McLaughlin. He's sort of a young, strapping guy, but that's sort of it. Anyways, what?
So it's close.
Yeah, you were up there. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty close.
No, yeah. So to me, it sort of seems like someone at the AFL's gone, look at all the money in this fucking esports thing.
Which there is a lot.
Yeah, which there
There's
is.
a
It's like
fuck
a
ton.
$1 billion industry. They're like, we need to capitalize on this. We need to use this. And so he's taken a presentation into the board and he's going, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to fill up the stadium with there's fucking LED screens and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to get we're going to get the, what we're going to do is we're going to get the millennials in and we're going to give them like team colors and associate them all with all of our teams. And then they'll buy memberships for the teams and then they'll come to the footy games. It's going to be fucking great. And all these old dudes in the board have gone, that fucking sounds like a good idea. You fucking go. And so I don't think, because the AFL media community will not embrace it. They will say this is stupid, and the AFL community will your average AFL supporter who's the demographic is males generally. There's a lot of female, not to sort of discount, there's a very large female audience which is growing, but fantastically. But it is a male-dominated industry and a male-dominated sport. It is making some fantastic leaps in opening up the community and equality and all that. I just don't see them being like, because it's easy for them to shut out the gamer, right? It's easy for them to go, that's stupid. Why would you play video games? These people shouldn't be doing this. They should be out playing sport. And it becomes a whole thing, and it becomes... they do it all the time. I hear them talking about when I listen to like the radio, and someone brings up a nerdy thing, whether it's Star Wars or video games or something like that. And like, yeah, I played video games. They're like, why would you waste your time with that crap? I wouldn't fucking do that. Blah blah blah. And it's
while they sat on home for 5 hours after they got home doing nothing but watching shitty TV.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly. So it's a very, it's that thing. I said it the other night to someone. It's easy to make fun of what you don't understand, and it's all that, and that's all that it is. But that it'll close it off, and then the people that they're trying to get in, these millennials, these gamers, will feel rejected, and they will feel like they're not welcome, and they won't feel accepted. Like they've made the women's league feel accepted, like they've made the international people feel accepted. Because it's easy to pick on gamers, and they just people won't come into it.
Yeah.
So that's my fear of why and this is me being pessimistic about it. That's my fear of why I don't think it will work. But
I don't think this thing. I think a lot of people looking at it like this will be great for esports. Like the Australian esports scene really needs this. It doesn't.
No,
like
it doesn't.
It's not like it's not necessary. This is more, if it works out well, this is more in favour of for the AFL side and for that company.
But that's what they're doing it for. They're not doing it for the gamers. They're doing it to get the gamers into the sport.
But I just think that like if it fails horribly, which I mean chances are it will, it's not like a loss to the esports scene. And in fact, if they fuck it up horribly, and then in like 5 years or 5 to 10 years or whatever, when it's getting bigger because it grows every year, like the last 5 years, it just the whole competitive scene just continues to grow and grow and grow. If they'll look at it in 5 years if they fuck this up and just be like, God, like what the money we're missing out on, and like the scene and everything like that. Because there's, some of these like bars across the Melbourne, Sydney, wherever they have them, like the gaming bars, they'll have events like come down to the bar and we'll watch like the Twitch stream of this huge Dota comp or League comp or whatever the hell else is on and stuff like that.
Yep.
And this is like that they could have stuff like that going. I just feel like if they fuck it up, they're really gonna miss out. But the unfortunate thing is like there really isn't like an Australian swing on it to help like get more people interested. Like if there was like a proper competitive like good AFL game or something like that, you could be like, yeah, you can fucking practice that or blah blah blah. But like most of the games are already like your leagues, your Call of Duty or whatever. So I'm just going to be interested to see what kind of game they try and turn into a big thing. Like, are they just going to be like, we'll make Call of Duty teams? Because they'll fail horribly because there's already such a big league for that. Like, and it doesn't. They're not going to be able to swing away. Like everyone that's any COD player in Australia that wants to get big is going to be like, why would I bother with this? I'm just trying to get into the big time. Like this is
exactly.
This is the money's not even here. I'll continue to try and get into the actual international comp. So I just really don't know what game they could pick to try and grab an audience.
So,
or work
I don't think it matters what game they pick. I mean, if they what they need to do is they need to make sure that they make it for the gamers and not for the clubs, because that's at the moment they're doing it for the clubs and for the AFL, and they're not doing it for the gamers. It's something they're trying. It's a means to an end. It's how can we get people in to get them to come to the footy. It's not how can we get people in and show them esports. Nicholas,
are the clubs privately owned or owned by AFL?
The clubs are owned by the members, and some of them are subsidised and owned and AFL run. But the majority of the clubs are owned by their members.
So if AFL says make an esports team, can they turn around and go, no, we don't want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like with
not every team wanted to be in the women's league.
So there's exactly. Ash is spot on. So there's what they do with that kind of thing is they'll make them apply for a license. They'll say, okay, we want X amount, and there'll be teams that they've like given a lot of money to over the years, and they'll say, okay, now you have to do this. Like, we're making you do this, you have to do it, and they'll go and do it. But then there'll be teams that, like Hawthorn, we're like, we don't want a women's team. We're not going to apply for license. We're like, okay, no worries, whatever. Do what you got to do. So, like, I imagine what they would do would be a similar...
That's my state, isn't it?
Hawthorn?
No, who's my team? Who's down here?
You don't have a team.
Nobody.
Oh, fuck.
Hawthorn does come
Hawthorn
to play games.
You're right, yeah. Hawthorn comes and plays games in
okay, so we claim them. Fuckers!
Yeah.
Is that the Eddie Maguire team?
No, that's Collingwood. So Yeah, so I imagine it would be a similar process to the women's league, is that they will say, all right, we want X amount of teams. We've got spots for 12 teams. All the teams have got to apply, for a license if they want. If they don't, fine, but we need 10. And if they've got 8 that apply, they'll make 2 do it. That they've helped out.
My funniest thing about it is like in any news stories I've seen about this, and even though they haven't like said what games or game they're gonna try and play or whatever the hell they're going to do, there's already like people in the comments like tagging people like on Facebook and articles like, hey, such and such, you want to get in on this? Like, I don't think people realize that like really good players of games train like 8 hours a day like any other sport, and that's the only game they'll play.
Yeah,
like people are tagging people just like us, just your normal gamers, just being like, hey, get on this, some free cash because it'll be easy. They have no idea like the the degrees that the top like proper like esports players go.
Definitely,
like proper training regimens, like regimes, whatever. They managers, they sit down like. There's a documentary on Netflix about it. I can't remember the name of it, but you can find it, I'm sure, if you look through documentaries and like type in esports or gaming or something like that, if anyone's interested to see something like that. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think they put a date on it either. There wasn't like, we'll have this up and down.
This is anytime soon.
Yeah, so it's not going to happen for ages, but it's rumblings in the background.
Especially if it's just like a one-off tournament. I don't know how they're going to run that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd kind of want to go just for shits and giggles, even if I thought it was going to be terrible.
Yeah,
just be like, I was there for the one time it happened, and then it fails. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I don't know, it could be fun. Nick, last week,
Dylan,
you was selling us on Prey. You was like, I played the Prey demo. I had no interest in this game. I ordered it as soon as I finished the demo. Everyone should go play it this week. JB Hi-Fi delivered your copy on time. Good job, JB Hi-Fi. Clap for them.
Sponsor us, please.
Someone sponsor us. Anyone, really. I don't really
Anyone.
care
We don't care. Vagisil.
Yeah.
Vagisil sponsor us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. So did it go to shit after that? Was the 1 hour demo like the best part, or did it go to terrible after that? Or are you still enjoying it? And is it actually a horror game? Because in the demo you was like, I don't really know what that trailer ties in. Can you tell me if anything in that fucking trailer where the guy's like looking at his red eye is actually a thing, or that just all got ditched? Burning question.
I still haven't gone back and rewatched the trailer, so I can't comment on that.
Fuck's sake.
But I've played about 8 hours of it so far, and it has just been phenomenal. I think it's a Game of the Year contender.
Jesus.
It's that good.
Really?
So far.
Why?
It's basically the spiritual successor to System Shock.
Which was Bioshock?
Yeah.
Is it any of the original team working on it?
Of what?
Original.
When you say it's a spiritual successor, are there people working on
it
who worked on System Shock, or are you just saying it's in like the
vein?
The vein.
It's
I
in
think it's just in the vein.
Yeah, the same vein. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas in like you're plonked in this, you go to this space station and it's all gone to shit, and you have to try and figure out what's going on, and there's all these kind of intricate plot details woven through, and
now I know you want to be careful about giving away too many spoilers, because I know you said that there's easy to give away spoilers because of the story before.
Yeah.
But so it's known fact that there's aliens, and there's known fact that there's like psychological elements. Now, do they play on it in a way that after 8 hours there's stuff happening in the story that you don't like, you're questioning, like, is that real? Is that
there's all these different people talking to you, trying to pull you in different directions, influence you doing one thing, and the other person's influencing.
So there's actually other people on the station. It's not like in the band.
I encountered my first alive human, and he's in this kind of like test chamber, and you're given the decision to like, you can either save him, like if you save him he gives you the armory code, or if you choose to do the experiment on him, like it gives you materials and stuff that you can use. But it presents in a way like all the people that have are there for test experiments of people that have been sentenced to death on Earth. So you read their record, and like he's
So you get to play judge,
human
jury,
trafficking.
executioner.
In this particular situation, he comes up with his record like human trafficking, soliciting children, that kind of thing.
Kill
But
him.
Let him burn. Let him burn.
But the thing is, the details on the file don't really match what he's saying. Like they say he's from somewhere in the Earth, and he doesn't sound like he's from there, and you kind of like have to.
So what in the game universe?
Obviously weigh up your options.
Like the human race has like gone out to different planets in the world.
No, it's still all Earth based with this space station with a history that a transnational corporation has taken over, doing all like Wayland Yutani type of stuff.
Okay, so when you say it's very much like System Shock, do you just mean the overall general story and the creepiness, or like the gameplay
the creepiness, the gameplay, like you have an inventory and you have to manage it, and you obviously level up through all these different neuro mods, so you gain more skills, and the more skills you unlock, you can't do other things like hacking or stealth or engineering, that kind of stuff. The only complaints I have so far is I've left it. Instead of like getting out of the game, I've been just putting on sleep mode and coming back and doing that a few times. Like it stuffs the game up, so you have to do a hard reboot of it. And the combat is a bit wonky to get down, because the way the aliens come at you, it's hard to keep track of where they're going and whatnot.
They sort of like spin around you and stuff. And I noticed that at the start.
Yeah, they kind of like
when you've got a melee, like then when you got the wrench at the start, it's sort of like unless you like get your first hit, you lose them, and you sort of look around for them, and then all of a sudden you've lost half your health. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is it like really annoying?
Not really annoying.
It's not challenging. You get used to it.
It makes it challenging.
And when you get more weapons, it kind of become more manageable. Like you get this weapon that the glue gun where it kind of like freezes them in place. Or you use it. It's kind of like the physics gun from Half-Life 2 for this, where you shoot it around. You can get to ledges where you couldn't before and whatnot.
What's the gunplay like?
It's pretty tight. There's no aiming down sights like a traditional first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of just
Bioshock
from the
didn't
hip.
You've got
that
like
either,
that.
so.
You press a button to sort of like zoom in though, don't you? Like it's sort of like
Yeah. You hit R3
Yeah.
and it kind of like it brings up binoculars.
yeah.
But you get another function with that later on in the game.
Okay.
So one of the reasons I never actually finished Bioshock Infinite is because I found the gunplay boring
But
as all fuck.
Bioshock Infinite, it should not have the Bioshock name.
Turn it up. Bioshock Infinite's a good game.
It's a good game, but it's not a Bioshock game.
I think it is.
So is the gunplay in this better? Like if you was to compare it, because you're gonna try and sell me on this game, is it better than Bioshock Infinite's gunplay? At which point it was boring.
Yeah, I feel it's better. I couldn't finish Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah,
I think this.
so
is
if you
high five, join the team.
So that's the thing. I think if you guys finished Bioshock Infinite, you'd say that it was a Bioshock game. Just a little side note. Funny you say that this game's similar to is like a spiritual successor to System Shock and like the Bioshock vein. Same studio that made Bioshock 2. Arcane Studios. They made this game.
That's true.
Yeah, they made Bioshock 2. So there you go.
So they're pretty, and it's the art style too is kind of like similar to Dishonored, their other game as well.
It's very the character models are very similar. Very similar.
Yeah.
So I've played the first Dishonored, which I thought had good gunplay, even though you didn't really need to use it because you're sitting around the most of the time. That also had cool magic
magic
like
stuff.
like abilities or whatever you want to call the magic stuff in
Arcane.
there, whatever you want to call. Arcane abilities, high five! Woo!
That was really good.
Is it like that? Is it the same, like
similar?
to
Yeah, you start getting funky kind of abilities later.
Yeah,
Good one.
Cool. I'm a lot more interested in Prey after these last 2 weeks than I was 2 weeks prior, because I gave 0 fucks. I was like,
Yeah.
Prey. I
suggest you download the demo. It costs you nothing, and it's an hour of your time.
Yeah. I was
Like, it sold me on the game, where previously I wasn't interested at all.
That's an hour of not getting trophies this week.
Yeah. I was the same though. I was the same. I 0 fucks gave, and then Nick was like, "I'm going to play this," and I knew you guys were going to talk about it on the podcast. So I'm like, "Oh, I'll jump in and have a go." And straight away, like I was the same. 5 minutes in, when you sort of get this little story turn, I was like, "Oh fuck." I was like, yeah, it's like really cool. It's like it's like this conspiracy sort of like funky, like it was really cool. I dig the vibe. If the combat and that sort of gets more, I found it at times frustratingly hard.
Yeah.
And unfair at times is how it felt. So if that sort of gets easier to manage as you get better weapons and better abilities as the game goes on, then I'm completely in on this.
It's easier to get the drop on them.
Yeah, definitely.
It's cool. So yeah, I reckon I will check out Prey. Not anytime like this week, but it's added to the list of games I'd like to play before we do get towards end of the year, game of the year discussions at least. Especially if you're waving game of the year flag over it.
I'm definitely I'm half bar on this one. Definitely half bar.
Half bar. It's not full bars, but half bar. # every trophy counts. Now, 2 games, Prey, AFL. Let's do Prey first. How are the trophies, Nick? Am I going to enjoy the trophies in this game?
They're good. I have popped a few trophies. Could not tell you what they're for, and I really couldn't care less.
For fuck's sake, just
it has a platinum.
Average. It would fucking better. I tell you what, if that game didn't have a platinum, I'll take back everything I just said and said, the Arcane Studios, you can fuck off. I'm not playing your fucking full retail disc game with no platinum. You can get the hell out of town. I can tell you something. I bet you it's better than fucking AFL's trophies. Am I right, Jack?
So, they're fucking garbage. Like this, and I thought this would maybe be like a saving grace to the games. That like I'm like, okay, it's kind of shit, but it is an AFL game. At least like I'll just play it for trophies and stuff. And like my first game, within like the first 30 seconds, like trophy pop. I'm like, bing. I'm like, hey, sweet. And like 2 minutes later, bing. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be sick. I'll just get the platinum. At least I'll get some like enjoyment out of it. And then I had a look through the trophy list, and there's like 1,000 trophies, and then they're all like, so the game is impossible to play like on medium difficulty. Like it actually tells you, there's articles online of like how, tips for playing AFL live, and they're like, as soon as you start, put it to easy, because you will not be able to play it on medium. There's like, which is fucking stupid. So the gap in between easy and medium is ridiculous, and I can't even imagine what hard is like. So there's trophies. There's a lot of trophies of just like do this in a game, handball 50 times, kick it out on the full, do it this, do that, blah blah blah. And then there's all ones that attach to like the career mode. So there's trophies like, and they're all very specific. So it's like win 3 grand finals in a row, on hard difficulty plus. It's like, are you fucking serious? And then it's like, win a grand final coming from behind in the 3rd quarter. I was like, so you've got to play through like a whole entire season on hard difficulty, and then get to the grand final and somehow manage to make sure you're behind, and then come from behind to lead at this certain quarter. And it's just ones like that are just like,
you could just save.
Yeah, but it's time consuming. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's time.
All of it is a very big time sink, because you need to level up.
There's like a very small portion of them that like ones that are organic that will come with gameplay, and then the rest are like time sink, difficulty, win this, win that, play this league, play that league, play this, play that. It's like, and it's play in different leagues, play with different teams, play a season with every team. It's like, what? It's like,
is that really one of them?
I'm pretty sure there was a trophy like that. But
that's a lot of teams.
Yeah. So there's, it's a terrible trophy list. They should be ashamed.
10 out of 10. I want to give a shout out to, I was just looking on, whenever I do this fucking show, I swear trophy, like I look before we start PSN profiles, and there's like nothing there that interests me. And then I look as we're getting towards the end, and something all like popped, which I'm like, oh, okay, there we go.
Bing.
So Loco Roco remastered trophy list up, which is a game I already pre-ordered because I quite like Loco Roco. And the trophy list looks fairly easy. Has anyone played like Loco Roco before? The ones on like PSP or whatever? These are all fucking baby PlayStation nerds. You fucking just bad fans. So the trophies are more or less for just like beating the game. And then there's a bunch for like finding the secrets, which is, of course, someone will do a walkthrough. Easy peasy. Then there's like trophies for time attack stuff, which would just probably involve, once again, just watching a YouTube video of someone who figures out the best way to do it, and then just copying what they do. So fucking high five, looks like an easy platinum to me. Also, Loco Roco Remastered having a platinum is already a win, because I didn't think that game would actually get a platinum. So between this and Parappa the Rapper, like a month ago, getting a platinum, both colour me highly surprised. Also, I really want this Loco Roco Remaster thing to be better than the Parappa Rapper remaster, which I did not think was all that good, and I hope this one's better, because I want them to do more of these remasters. With Parappa the Rapper, it's like they didn't fix the things that were... They're like, oh, I know there's some things wrong with this game, but we'll just leave them as part of the game because that's part of the charm, or stuff like that. They updated the graphics and everything, but like the menu system even is clunky as fuck. It's like, just fix the menu system. And then because it's a rhythm game, some sections in some songs you'll have to just learn to press the button a second early because it's just off. And then other sections later in the song, you'll have to just learn to press them like a second late because it's off. So if in a rhythm game, you're like, oh, a second early on this part, a second late on this part, wrong. That's like a bad rhythm game. And I know it's an old rhythm game, and Parappa the Rapper was like an OG one, but just like, you could have fixed that. Like, if you're remastering a rhythm game, you'd think you'd remaster the fucking main gameplay element. Either way.
So it's a rhythm game that's giving you the blues.
Bow, 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 bow. Good job, everyone. That was a great thing. And on that note, I think I'm just going to end it there. So it's been a great time. Ashley, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEY,
Jack, where the people...
You can find me at Cruzy_mate on Twitter and CruzyMate on YouTube. Go check out my first impressions review video for AFL Evolution if you'd like to laugh at my pain.
Or see a man's heartbreak.
Yeah, you can pinpoint the moment his heart breaks into. It's in between, like, I play, like, the second game, and I'm like, it wasn't that bad. It was kind of like, maybe I'll just keep playing and it could be okay. And I'm sort of, like, head down in, like, hope. And then it comes back, and I'm just like, game's fucked. Spoilers
Nick,
for that video.
where can people find you?
Pingu.
Is that your Twitter, Nick, or...?
No, my Twitter is at Lord Empire, PRIOR.
And I am at Vivaladil, which is VIVALADIL. You can follow the podcast at Explosion Pod on Twitter. You can head to pleasureexplosion.com/contact to send in things that say stuff that we read on the thing.
Or questions.
And on the thing, questions, and sometimes just no links to porn. Thank you.
Nothing from Jaden Pryor this week?
Don't forget to... No.
Son of a bitch.
Bastard. I know, right? You can also go to find, as I said, we've mentioned once or twice already, you can find the Pleasure Explosion YouTube page. Somehow, just fucking Google Pleasure Explosion and find the YouTube, or search Pleasure Explosion in YouTube.
The link's in the show description.
There you go. Nick will handle that one. Good job, Nick. And you can watch the AFL Evolution Let's Play we did, myself and Jack, in that video. Thank you. This has been a great time. Sports. Bowl.
Plat,
Bowl. 10 out of 10, everyone. Good job.
10 out of 10. Wrap it up, guys. Good podcast.
Good job. You can subscribe to Pleasure Explosion thing. Send email, patreon.com//Pepsi69fan.